Alright guys, what is going on? How are you doing? Welcome back to another video on the David Hammond YouTube channel. So in this one, guys, I believe I titled it Creating the Life of Your Dreams, okay? And essentially, what does that mean? In this modern digital world, what does that even mean, creating the life of your dreams? You know, that is so subjective in and of itself because, you know, all of our dreams are so different, but I do believe the root essence of all of our dreams is actually very connected, okay? And I'll explain what I mean in this video. So this whole video relies around one prominent theme to create your subjective life of your dreams, okay? Because they're all subjective. You may want certain cars, you may want certain aspirations, have certain jobs, and ways of living different to mine, but at the same time, the sentiment is more or less the same, you know. We maybe have different flowers and plants, but the root, the earth, is still the same, metaphorically speaking, okay? So what do you do to create the life of your dreams? That one answer, of course there are many, but I do believe it comes down to one prominent theme at the end of the day, and that is to cut out toxicity. Or better yet, cut out what no longer serves you. Period, point blank. That's it. That's it. Done. You know, so many times in life, whether these are in our relationships, our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health, our occupation, it really doesn't matter, whatever it is. We have so many of these leeches that are really draining us of our vitality, emotionally, physically. It really doesn't matter. This could be certain foods, thought patterns, eating habits, and I'm no different, okay? I have leeches. I have something called OCD, okay? So I deal with this on a much more extreme level than about 98% of people, and I know how bad it can get when you do not mend or tend to these leeches, okay, and you just allow them to grow and to suck you of all your vitality. I know how dangerous this can be, and I don't want that to happen to you guys. So to create the life of your dreams, simply put, it is to identify these leeches and to rip those motherfuckers off as fast as you can, okay? Believe me, something in OCD or in clinical psychology, what they teach you is something called CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. Better known, the practice is something called ERP, exposure response prevention. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but essentially in OCD or anything fear-based, you want to attack it or to identify and fix it as fast as you can. It's literally like a leech or a vampire, where the faster you can get it, the faster, like, our fears or anything toxic, right? It needs seemingly energy or oxygen to thrive. This is how, literally like a cancer or a virus, it grows and it grows and it grows. But it grows, its life force is you, is me, is you, is our energy, okay? So the faster we can cut these off, the better. And you can cut them off. I'm not going to go too into depth, but I've been actually quite suicidal before in the past because I have allowed these leeches to grow, and I didn't know how to fix them. Okay, so first and foremost, if you guys are dealing with something like this, I would strongly recommend you go see a psychologist. That's what I did for multiple years, and they can truly help. I'm not claiming to be a psychologist by any means. I want to make that very clear. This is just my own experience. So that brings it to the next question. Okay, David, how do you rip these leeches off? It's simple but not easy, okay? One, you have to identify them. You have to honestly sit down and identify what these leeches are. In clinical psychology, what you're asked to do, and if you've seen therapists, then you probably know this, is to write down your fears, right? It's funny because all self-help is essentially the same thing. It's identifying the root and fixing it at the cause. So write down, identify, literally sit down one day. It's crazy. I was just doing a podcast the other day, and the guy Sergio, he, like, at the end, his spiel, which is Creator Chat's podcast. We have the mug, by the way. His little talk, which he got super passionate about, which was amazing, was along the lines of manifestation and really attaining the goals you want. And one of his things was a vision board, or to write down your stuff. Anyways, sit down one day, okay? Take half an hour, take an hour, take 20 minutes, and just write down anything in your life that seemingly you feel is no longer serving you, or is a possible or potential leech. These could be coworkers at your work, these could be thought patterns, these could be eating patterns, these could be relationships, these could be things you are doing, right? Maybe you're playing a bunch of video games, or you're jacking off 4 times a day. Like I'm not judging. We all have our demons and leeches. I am no different. I have these. All right, and we always will. We're human. But write them down. This will allow you to better identify your leeches. From that point on, the next phase in clinical psychology. Simply put, is to now rid yourself of these leeches. Now, this is going to be tricky and different for every single leech. It's going to be tricky, and this is, to be honest, half the battle. Half the battle is just in identifying it. Once you've identified it, you're to be honest, and being honest, you're halfway there. But the other half is in finding the right tool or resource or strategy to rid this leech. Because some leeches look different than others. Some you gotta pour salt on, some you gotta use a toothpick, some you gotta use your fingers. They're all different. And this is why OCD in particular is so multifaceted and it can be crazy. I'm trying to think of like the one way to tell you guys how to cut out these leeches. You're gonna have to try for yourself. That's the best thing I can say. You know, if you have at the end of the day, you just have to make the conscious effort and decision for this to no longer be in your life. How that's going to look, I don't know. Maybe this may be you physically going up to that coworker and saying, hey, I noticed that a few days ago when we had this thing here, or a friend or whatever, I noticed that a few days ago, I understand maybe you didn't know and it wasn't necessarily your fault, but it did make me feel a certain way. And I definitely, if we're going to be homies, I definitely don't want this to happen again. Do you understand? Right? It could look like that. And I've done this in the past several times, right? And I'm sure you guys have. It could be a talk with yourself. Like, hey, I think these patterns are maybe becoming a little bit too destructive and I don't want to partake in these anymore. I'm going to try to do something different. It's all going to look so different. Like, I wish I could tell you guys, like, oh, you just say this or you just do this. Like, a lot of these channels and videos would have you believe, but, like, I can't. Your demons are different than mine. Your leeches are different than mine. But just identify and, guys, take the steps, trial and error. I'm not going to keep talking about myself with OCD, but the reason it's so tricky at times, your fears and your demons, is because it takes many, many, many tries to get rid of them. Just like for you guys. If you're an alcoholic, you're not going to get rid of it the first time, right? If you jack off 4 times a day and are addicted to porn, you're not going to get rid of it the first time. They take constant effort, trial, error, adaptation. If this way didn't work, cool, adjust. Nope, adjust. You will hit it. I'm living proof. I've whether it was this video or the last one, I spoke. Anyways, I'm still alive, okay? There's proof. You can do this. So that really is it, guys. That is the video. That is the end of the video. To create the dreams or live the dreams of your reality is simply to identify and cut out anything that is no longer serving you. Because to be or to aspire, just like Sergio was saying in the last podcast, to be that version of yourself in whatever it is, right? Imagine yourself in whatever car, position, job. How are you walking? How's your facial expression? What clothes are you wearing? That version of yourself, I promise you, will not be dealing with the things you're dealing with now. You won't. And the longer you deal with this, the more distance you create from your reality here to that dream reality there. The faster you can identify and cut out these toxic leeches, it's almost like a balloon, right? Like I'm thinking of Up, the movie Up, like the house with all those balloons, right? It's almost like a balloon trying to rise. We have all these little leeches and people holding it down. The faster you can cut every single string, the faster it can rise. That may sound poetic and cheesy, but that's just the reality. So I'm going to finish it there, guys. I hope this video is able to make sense. I know these videos are a little all over the place, but it's just the way I think. My mind is very... So that's that. I hope it could help. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Comment down below or shoot me a DM or an email if you'd like to really ask further questions. And as always, guys, there is one-on-one coaching if you guys are interested in really taking your life to the next level, whether this is improving your health, relationships, finding your passion, or serving to the world. Always linked down below. And a creator course, a massive course, as the final plug, is coming. It's a near 4-hour-long course which explains everything I ever touch of in these videos, which again is aimed to improve your health, relationships, find your passion, and be able to serve that to the world. What I call the 4 areas of growth. I'll explain this in future videos. So that's that, guys. Thank you so much. I hope that was a resource. Check out the podcast, always linked down below, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. I really do hope this helped, and I know it will, because I'm living proof, and I will be living proof in the near future. It's why I vlog. It's why I document. Okay, so that's that. I'm done. Much love. Thanks, guys. Peace.